screenwriters. This is Melody Jackson, the Hollywood Smart Girl. Today is my first piece in a new series I've started called Ask Smart Girl, What You Need to Know About Screenwriting. In this series, each week I'm going to be addressing some of the most commonly asked questions that I get from screenwriters, also known as frequently asked questions. I'll also answer some of those that I call the FAQs, or should ask questions. These should ask questions will cover some of the things that I think that you should know, but you may not even know to ask. The whole point of this series is to add some nuance to your understanding of how Hollywood works. And of course, if you should have a question that you want to ask me, please email it to our help desk at support@smartg.com. That's support@smartg.com. Now, let's get to today's question, which is one of the most common questions I get asked. And that is, how do I get an agent for my script so a producer will read it? This is a common question, and it's really a cool one because it allows me to really get this myth addressed, the myth that you have to get an agent first to get any producer to read your script. Everyone thinks that they need a literary agent to have the screenwriting career. And that part is true, but there's just one small catch. And that is that it's extremely unlikely that you're going to get an agent or a literary manager out of the blue for your first script if you have no other contacts and you have no other credits. The fact is, the big agents who could potentially sell your script, which is of course why you want an agent, they're already working with proven screenwriters. They make a living by making deals, and they are far more likely to be able to sell a screenplay or get a deal if that screenwriter has already shown in some way that their work can make money. Producers are going to be much more interested in a proven screenwriter. Now, the question is still a good one because it's true that you will eventually need a literary agent or manager to represent you if you want to have a career. And a lot of writers have asked me about that. But a better question early on in your career is, how do I get a producer to read my script without an agent? Let me explain. If you send a query letter or an email to a literary agent, especially some of the biggest agencies who can really make the deals and get big-time producers and studio execs to read your script. If you send an email or a query letter to them, you will most likely get a return email or letter that says, we don't take any unsolicited materials. They do that, of course, for legal protection. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you send to producers, you'll also get some of those letters or emails back saying no unsolicited. However, there are hundreds of producers and production companies that you could potentially send to who do take unsolicited scripts. They're just not the biggest ones. Your best bet is to send an email or a query letter or try to meet producers at smaller production companies and try to get them to read your work. Try to find one of those producers at a smaller company to fall in love with your work. Then they can champion your screenplay and take it to the bigger production companies or agencies and make deals. I've seen this happen many times, not to mention the fact that some of these smaller companies could hire you to do some rewrites and help you get a credit. Now, make no mistake about it, I could say a lot more about getting your script read, but I wanted to just give you the general concept here and address today's frequently asked question. Here's the bottom line. You can try to get an agent or manager initially, but don't be surprised if you find it nearly impossible. If you've already tried and you found it pretty much impossible, that's okay. That's how the business works. Your best bet is to mail to small production companies who might be interested in your kind of script, and then they can work it up the ladder. At my company, Smart Girls Productions, if we help you market your script, I always encourage the writer to go to production companies first. Lots of writers will then add on mailing to literary agents or managers or emailing to them just to take that chance that someone might respond. But I always make sure that they know, or that you know, that it's kind of a long shot if you haven't had anything produced. It's not impossible that you would get representation, but it is a long shot. If you want to get in action on getting your script out to the market, Your next step would be to find a list of small production companies or producers who might be interested in your script and target them. That producer will take your script and shop it around to try to package it or to get other companies with money on board with it or get name talent or a name director attached. Of course, at Smart Girls, we can help you do that kind of research for you and assist you with that process of finding those production companies. That's what we do. Or you can do it yourself. To find out more, if you want us to help you or if you want to check it out, just go to our website at smartg.com and you'll see the Screenwriter services in the top menu, and then you can find out more about it. Once you build relationships with producers by doing these kinds of things, by targeting them and potentially getting some of these smaller production companies to read your material or meeting with them, however you get to them, they might even hire you for writing assignments. You can start to build some credits, even if they're small ones. I have a client who did a query letter mailing. He got requests for his script. That production company actually hired him to write a screenplay, their idea, from scratch. So there are all kinds of things that could happen. And once you get some credits like that, once you have been paid to write a script, you'll have much more credibility in the eyes of literary agents and managers, and then you have a much better chance of finding representation. That's it for today on Ask Smart Girl. Good luck, and let's talk soon.